So you're thinking about moving to Sammamish, Washington. Well, stick around because in this video, we're going to dig deep into what it's like to actually live here on the east side in Sammamish. The first thing we're going to do is jump on my computer. We're going to look at kind of where we are actually located in the state of Washington, but we're also going to touch on some of the school districts, places to go, some of the things to do, and then after that, we are going to look at some of the neighborhoods that make up Sammamish. Okay, after all of that, we're going to jump in the car, we're going to drive you around so you can actually take a look at what those neighborhoods look like and see it for yourself. So if you're thinking about moving to Sammamish, Washington, stick around. We're going to go through all of this and more right now. Hey, if this is your first time here and you want to know everything that there is to know about eating, sleeping, breathing, and playing in King County, Washington, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications so that you get updated every time we come out with a new video in one of our favorite cities in King County. Hi, my name is Derek Decater. I'm part of the Decater home team, and we get emails and texts and calls every day from people just like you who are either relocating or wanting to move into this area. So whether this is something that needs to happen in a day or in a year from now, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a message, DM us. Happy to help you and make that transition as smooth as possible.
All right. Hey, everybody. We are going to, as promised, jump in the computer here and actually take a look at Sammamish. So here's kind of what I want to go through. First, we're just talking about a little bit about the data. Okay. So we're just going to jump into the census and look at some of those things. Then we're going to talk about the proximity. So where is Sammamish at in relation to kind of everything else here in Western Washington? After that, we'll go into things to do, the fun stuff. If you're going to live here, what is there to do? What can we get to? What activities are there? What events are there? What venues can we get to? So we're going to kind of dive into the quote unquote things to do when you live in Sammamish. After that, we will kind of narrow it down a little bit. We'll jump into the city of Sammamish and look locally. What is there to do actually in Sammamish? Then we'll look at the shopping, we'll look at the schools, and of course, then we will jump into the neighborhoods. Okay, what do I get for my money here? What do the homes look like? What do the neighborhoods look like? So we'll jump in, we'll look at the neighborhoods, and then of course, we're going to jump around. We're going to jump into the car and actually drive you around. All right, but first, let's just kind of talk about the city itself. So as you can see in the census data here is Sammamish outlined for you. This is 2020, population 67,455. It's actually grown. I believe we're now at 71,000 plus. The income, the median is 181. Again, I believe we are now at 210. The last time I looked for the median household income. In terms of the median housing prices, just above, I think the last data was 878. I believe we are pushing more towards. All right, so there's some of the data. Now let's jump in and actually look at kind of where we are at proximity-wise. So if we zoom out here on Google Maps, let's just zoom way out if you're not familiar with Washington. So here we are just off of the Puget Sound. Seattle is right on the Sound, of course. So Sammamish, where all these dots are, is going to be just east of Seattle. And as we zoom back in here, that's really, when we talk about Washington, obviously we think about Seattle. So proximity to Seattle, from the middle of Sammamish, and Sammamish is really kind of divided into, at least in terms of routes, because we have this big lake, Sammamish, between us and downtown Bellevue, downtown Seattle. So if we're on the north side of Sammamish, if you kind of cut Sammamish in half, the north side will actually go north up towards 202. And we can just grab this guy. I think I'm on the right colors. So we'd actually come up here and go 202 over to 520. And that's how we would get into Bellevue and Seattle. If you're kind of more on the south side of Sammamish, you're usually going to just drop down a couple of different ways to go. You can go through the Highlands, you're going to drop down, but basically you're going to get to the I-90 corridor. I-90 will take you anywhere in the state, and you're going to follow 90 west. And that's going to get you to Bellevue if you jump onto the 405, or if you continue straight, it's going to drop you off right in downtown Seattle. I-90 finishes right in Seattle. So again, Seattle is going to be about 28 minutes if you're kind of in the middle of Sammamish. You're looking at more like 20 to 25 minutes if you're on the south side. And again, it's going to differ a little bit if you have to go up north towards the 520. Bellevue, a little bit closer, although not drastically as you have to go north or south. And you're looking at about 20 to 25 minutes. to get into the major hubs of Bellevue and Seattle. Okay, let me move my face first. Let's get that out of the way. So that's kind of the proximity to the big cities, if you will. Not far at all. Once you get on the freeway, once you get on 90, you're getting in and out of the city pretty quickly in 15 minutes or so. Okay, but again, you do have to kind of navigate this large lake Sammamish here, which is a major draw of the city, which we'll get into, either by going north or by going south. Okay, so let's look at things to do. You know, when you're living here, what are the fun things to do? I'm just going to kind of hop around. We'll start over here on the west. You know, out in Seattle, you've got Lumen Field and T-Mobile Park. So if you're a sports fan, that's where the Seahawks and the Mariners are going to be. That's where the Sounders are going to play as well for soccer. Of course, downtown Seattle is going to have all of your restaurants, all of your sporting venues, all of your musical venues. There's nothing you can't do in Seattle. You've also got the Seattle Aquarium and Pike Place Market. All right downtown Seattle. You know, you're going to jump on 90 and just go north a little bit to get into those as well. If we go east a little bit, if we go up into Redmond, we're at Merrimore Park. Merrimore Park is a very cool, massive park, baseball fields, soccer fields, musical events. They have Cirque du Soleil in the summer. They've got a huge dog park there. This is going to be a large attraction for people coming from the south and people coming from the north. Merrimore Park is very large. We can actually zoom in a little bit here on Google Maps, and I can actually show you just the size of Merrimore Park. Okay, and then you're going to be kind of in downtown, or you're going to be basically right in downtown Redmond at that point. And Merrimore Park is 15, 20 minutes away. Not even. If we go out towards the south here a little bit, past Issaquah, still technically in Issaquah, you've got Poo Poo Point. So for this is just one of my favorites. There is no shortage of hiking and biking trails, and we'll actually get into one of my favorite biking spots as well. But just a unique thing about this area, I think something that I love to do is Poo Poo Point. It's a quick and easy hike. And what's cool about this is where all the paragliders take off. Let me just show you some pictures here. This is the view once you get to the top. You can see someone taking off there. You got a couple more out here as well. Amazing view, obviously, if you are the one paragliding, but even if you are not, it's pretty unbelievable. It's pretty spectacular. This is the actual takeoff point. So, you know, as we look at the takeoff area behind us is where the paragliders start their run and start to take off, which is pretty cool. It's pretty fun to take the kids up there and watch them take off as well. So you got Poo Poo Point right there. Lake Sammamish and Lake Sammamish State Park. You've got the boat launch here. Okay. This is where everyone, at least in the Sammamish area, is going to launch their boats. If you go around the lake a little bit, you're actually going to get to the actual state park. Again, this is where a lot of the families are going to go hang out. Lots of parking. There's swimming. There's always events going on here. There's usually some beach volleyball going on as well. You can see these pictures. Kind of, I think these do it justice. But a very cool area, a very popular lake, and really just a stone's throw from Sammamish if you're living in Sammamish, anywhere on Sammamish. Okay, if we go out a little bit farther in terms of things to do, places to go, Duthie Hill. If you're a mountain biker, this is going to be your new favorite spot, right? Lots and lots of trails, lots of terrain, all different levels of terrain as well. So everything from the beginner to the expert riders, you will see hanging out at Duthie Hill. Okay, and that's actually up in Sammamish as well. If we go out a little bit farther, I'm sorry, not out a little bit farther, but if we go a little bit northeast over into the Carnation area, Remlinger Farms, a very cool spot for the kids, very seasonal. They've got a lot of things going on for Christmas, and they got a lot of things going on for Halloween. You can see they've got the maze here. They've got some cool little park attractions for the kids as well. You can go pick strawberries. You can jump on some rides. You can grab a coffee, walk around with the kids. It's a very cool area. Snoqualmie Falls, if I zoom on in here, there's Salish. So Salish is the lodge at the falls. Very nice hotel and restaurant. You can see the view from one of the restaurants here. You got Snoqualmie Falls. It's a massive attraction. Here's a good look at the falls. It's a very cool place just to go and take the kids. We get spoiled living here. It's right down the road. For people passing through, this is a very, very popular spot, and the traffic will show you that. If you come during the middle of the day, or on a weekend, I should say, there's a good look at the falls as well. In the winter, this place is roaring. The amount of water that comes through there, I don't know the number, but once these falls are really roaring with snowfall and rainwater. It's a pretty cool sight. And that's right in Snoqualmie. That's only going to be about 15 minutes away as well, just to kind of give you an idea. Snoqualmie Casino, again, going to be your local casino, your closest casino. It's going to be where you're going to have all of your events. Obviously, it's got the casino, some phenomenal restaurants in there as well, and you're looking at about 15 minutes. If we go out farther east, we've kind of touched on the water, or actually I haven't touched on Lake Sammamish Well too much yet, but if you're a snow sport person, Snoqualmie Pass, you're looking at about 45 minutes, depending on where you're at in Snoqualmie or in Sammamish. If you're on that south side of Sammamish, like I talked about, it's probably just 30 minutes away. But you've got Snoqualmie Pass, multiple different hills. You've got obviously your snowboarding and your skiing, but you've also got your tubing center for the kids. I love taking our kids up there in the winter just to go jump on the tubes. Obviously, you've got in the summer, everything changes and it's a little bit more mountain biking up there as well. But you've got all of your snow sports right there at Snoqualmie Pass, really right in your backyard, not far at all. So no matter what you enjoy doing, you've got all of your lake sports, right? You've got Lake Sammamish, which is a massive draw. You've got Lake Washington. So Lake Sammamish is here, Lake Washington, and then of course the Puget Sound as well. So whether you are into just going out on the lake and relaxing, or whether you are more the sport fisherman or like to get out in the sound, go catch some salmon, it's all right there in your backyard. You've got the mountains to your east. You can go and do all of your skiing, snowboarding. There's a bunch of snowmobiling tracks as well over there. And that's really kind of what is around and what the draw is to living in this area. We are very locally, or we're very close to down these other aspects. The outdoor life is very, very prevalent here between all the different hiking and biking, skiing, snowboarding, and water sports. There's no shortage of things to do and parks to go to. I think that covers most of that. So let's jump into Sammamish now. So now inside of Sammamish, here we are. Let's jump into first just some of the, I don't want to call them attractions, but some of the places to go inside of Sammamish as well. So you've got Beaver Lake Park over here. So here's the lake, actual Beaver Lake, small lake. Fun to go, trout fishing, bass fishing. The kids can jump in the water. It's a pretty quiet lake, one little boat launch. The park itself is a great spot to go. You'll see families having barbecues there. You'll see people on their paddle boards out there. This picture is great. This is taken right on the shore of the park looking across. This is actually the boat launch right here. So not a massive boat launch. Boat launch is right there. Behind you is the actual park. They've got some playgrounds there. They've got the picnic tables. They got some trails to hike on as well. And then if we actually zoom in, Beaver Lake Park itself, what I just showed you. So here's the boat launch that I was referencing, and the actual park itself is right in here. Okay. It's called the Lodge at Beaver Lake. You've also got your baseball fields over 2 minutes from that park. You've got your 3 fields here. You've got your off-leash dog park that kind of runs this way as well. Oops. So great spot to go, get the kids out, get the dogs out. If we go back over to the west just a little bit, and this drive on Southeast 24th here, this is not even a 5-minute drive. This is a 3-minute drive between these two. Pine Lake Park is amazing. Let me just show you some of the pictures of Pine Lake Park as well. A little bit larger lake and a little bit more to do at Pine Lake. So it's got the dock. It's got the swimming area. You've got some pretty good sized playgrounds for the kids. Again, you can go fishing here. You've got the wildlife, but this one also has the soccer fields and the baseball fields inside the park. You've got your picnic areas in there as well. And then one of the really cool things about living up in Sammamish is every Thursday night, they have concerts in the park. And so you'll just see the community come out. Everyone grabs their chairs and their blankets, brings the kids along, and they have concerts in the park. So a very cool community thing that they do. Very nice spots. What's cool about that too is, especially now in the summer when it is warm, if you've got some younger kids, this park does have quite a bit of shade if you want to find it, which I know for me is always a good thing. So those are some of the parks. We talked about Poo Poo Point a little bit already. Beaver Lake Park, Pine Lake Park, Sammamish Park, I did touch on already. So that's down there on the lake itself. Duthie Hill. let's look at the golfing around here because there are some pretty amazing golf courses as well. Aldera Golf Club, 10 minutes away, private club, unbelievable. I've actually never played there, but I've heard it's unbelievable. You've got Sahalee up to the north. They've actually had a few PGA Tour events there. Another amazing course. Look at that. They even got the TV stand up there in the picture from one of the PGA Tour events or LPGA Tour events as well. So you've got access to those courses. And then in Sammamish, you've also got the Plateau Club, which is one of the harder courses around, but just beautiful and immaculate. So a great place to go and play there as well. Okay, let's see. Those are the big spots here in Sammamish. You've got your lake access. Let's jump into, after that, let's talk about the shopping. Obviously, we need to go out and get groceries and shop and do all those things. Sammamish it's got options everywhere. So if we look at kind of Pine Lake again as our starting spot here, the Pine Lake QFC, you've got your QFC here. You've got some restaurants in there as well. You've got some teriyaki. You've got the Rite Aid. So if it's quick and easy, that's going to be something that's very easy to go to. If you are on this side of the plateau, you are probably actually going to go more towards Klahani. I didn't even touch on Klahani Park yet, but Klahani is going to have a large shopping center as well. If we zoom in here, you've got a little bit of everything at this shopping center as well. You've got the bike store, you got the QFC, you've got some physical therapy places, your typical kind of city shopping center. If you need to get a little bit bigger than that, if you go south out of Sammamish and go into Issaquah, you've got your Costco. Obviously, I think everyone knows Costco, but that's going to be 10 minutes from the middle of Sammamish. And then in downtown Issaquah as well, you're going to have a little bit of everything. Okay, you're going to have your breweries, your restaurants. You got a couple gyms down there. Targets. I see Target right there. This is going to be your downtown, if you will, of Sammamish. And again, this is only an 8-minute drive from the middle of Sammamish. If you're on the south side of Sammamish, you're down there pretty quickly. Okay. Up to the north, if you're more towards the Redmond side. So if we kind of take a line here, and really the school district line almost does this for us, which I'll get into here in a second. But you've got kind of the south side of Sammamish and the north side. The school district line is actually right at Skyline High School, which I'll show you here in a second. But up as you go a little bit farther, or a little bit north on the main drag here, you've got the Metropolitan Market as well. And they've got a little bit of everything. So there's no shortage of shopping centers, of restaurants. You can also get into more towards the East Lake. You're going to have your Safeway. You're going to have your markets over here, your fast food restaurants. All of this shopping center is going to be where, if you are on kind of more that Redmond side of Sammamish, this is going to be your hub in terms of shopping. Schools. One of the major draws of Sammamish is the school districts. So if we zoom in here, we've got the Issaquah School District and we've got the Lake Washington School District. So what's kind of unique about this area is we actually have 3 high schools with almost I believe, a mile of each other. Okay, so we've got East Lake High School, Eastside Catholic, which is a private school, and then you've got Skyline High School. And as you can see, it's all on the same road. So right here, Skyline, Eastside Catholic, and East Lake. Okay, the line that kind of divides this, if I zoom out a little bit, is going to be right above Skyline High School. So pretty much straight across there. North of this is going to be Lake Washington School Districts going to East Lake High School. South of this is going to be Issaquah School Districts going to Skyline High School or Issaquah High School, depending on kind of where you're at on the plateau. Now, both of these school districts are unbelievable. So ranked 4th and 5th in Washington State. So Issaquah School District is 5th in the state in 2022, and Lake Washington School District is 4th. So the school district itself is a massive, massive draw, which is why this area brings in so many families as well. You can't go wrong in the Issaquah School District or the Lake Washington School District, which is why this is such a big draw. So I showed you the 3 high schools. The middle schools are all very centrally located as well. I won't go through and show you all of the middle schools there, but they're all on the plateau and very, very quick to get to. So that kind of covers those things to do. I mean, in the area of Sammamish. Let's jump in and actually look at homes and home prices. So I kind of talked about the median home price. I want to jump in the MLS and actually show you what you get for this. So Right now, this is live. This is today. So if we look at Sammamish right now and have it set for $1 million or less, we have 7 homes on the market currently at $1 million or less in the city of Sammamish. All right, so you got 990 right here. Basically, it's going to get you 3 bedrooms. It's going to get you 3 beds, 2 baths, which is pretty standard. If you go, you got 850, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. You've got $1 million right here, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. As well, if we look at some of these pictures, these are some of the things that you're going to get to. And I'll dig into the actual neighborhoods here in a second too, but just to kind of give you a bird's eye view of the market. $1 to 1.5, we get 37 matches in the city of Sammamish. And as you see on the map, we got a lot more to choose from. If I can get rid of that. So a lot more to choose from. We have a good chunk down here in Klahani, and we have a good chunk up here on the north side of Sammamish, kind of going up into that Redmond area as well. Again, you're looking at that 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, somewhere in there. That's pretty normal for the plateau right now. And the plateau, that's the local term for Sammamish. When I actually grew up in Sammamish, it was still Issaquah. And the way that we locals kind of divided it was there was downtown Issaquah and then there was the plateau. And the Sammamish was, I believe, in 1999 is when Sammamish became its own city. So we've got 37 matches for 1 million to 1.5. And then if we go 1.5, actually, you know what? Let's just go to 2 million. 2 million and over, there's 62 matches. Look at all those houses for 2 million plus. What is going on? There we go. All right. So what does 2 million get you in? So what's $3.2 million get you? Well, it gets you a pretty beautiful house in a fairly amazing setting. Got your outdoor living, very welcoming, updated. Great area. We'll actually look at this community. This is near the uplands. It's not technically in the uplands, I don't believe. But you're looking at 4,800 square feet. Okay, 4,900 square feet. If we go down the road, you got 3.2, 5 bedrooms, 2 baths. You've got your $3 million 4-bed, 2-bath right here. Also very amazing. We can take a look at some of these pictures as well. And of course, pictures are pictures. This is on Pine Lake right here. So you can see this is kind of the south side of the lake. No motorized boats on Pine Lake, by the way. So everything is paddles. Look at that one. So that's what $3 million will get you there on the lake. If we go over towards one of the communities that we will actually drive you around in is Trossachs, and this is what the Trossachs homes will look like. Large community, obviously, your big sidewalks, your cul-de-sacs, very family friendly. Great location. You can drop down to 202 fairly quickly and either go west into Redmond or go towards Falls City and Snoqualmie. Pretty quick to get down to I-92 as well. Okay, so those are some of the homes. And the different price points you're going to see here. So again, only 7 homes are on the market for less than $1 million. We had that 37, kind of that 1 million to 1.5, and then we bump up as we go up. So 2 million plus, and I believe that said it was about 67 homes there. So we're going to drive you around. We're going to look at some of these neighborhoods. We're going to look at Klahani a little bit as a bonus as well, because not all of Klahani is in Sammamish. We're going to look at Audubon Park, which is kind of in the Pine Lake area. We're going to look at Trossachs, which is what I just showed you as well. We'll look at the uplands and a few other communities as well, some of our favorite communities. But again, that kind of just gives you an overview. The plan here, the goal here was to let you see where is Sammamish, what is Sammamish all about, give you some statistics. But really, in my mind, like the draw to Sammamish is one location and access to things to do and activities to do. The lakes, again, I know I don't want to harp on it, but it's such a big piece of living out here, is getting out on a boat or going to the mountains. Everyone's got their snowboard, their skis, they've either got a boat or a friend with a boat. They're going to go fishing out on the Sound. It's a really terrific place to live. I'm a little biased, obviously. I grew up across the road from Pine Lake Park. But just amazing. There's no shortage of things to do. There's no shortage of access to activities. You got all of your shopping centers as well. Easy access to Bellevue, easy access to Seattle. You can get to a Mariners game or a sporting event in 30 minutes. Just a very, very cool area. So that's it for the map view. Next up, we're just going to start to drive around. We're going to show you some of these communities, maybe even pop into a house or two that's on the market so you can actually see live what that looks like instead of just looking at those pictures, because obviously you can look at pictures online as well, but there's nothing the same as just kind of driving the neighborhood and seeing what's actually out there. So I think that covers it all. If there's something else you would like to know, by all means, reach out, call, text, email. We get calls, as I said before, we get calls and emails and texts and DMs all the time for people wanting to relocate either to Sammamish or Issaquah, anywhere on the east side is what we typically would call it. If you have questions, if you're even just thinking about this move, again, if it's 1 day away or 1 year away, please reach out, send us a message. We would be happy to help you and walk you through some of the things, or even go do some virtual tours for you as well, if you're not actually in the area. All right, let's jump in the car and drive around a bit.